Kevin Mitnick was the FBI's most wanted hacker. David Mitnick is an American computer security consultant, author and convicted hacker. He is best known for his high-profile 1995 arrest and 5 years in prison for various computer and communications-related crimes. Mitnick's pursuit, arrest, trial, and sentence along with the associated journalism, books and films were all controversial. He now runs the security firm Mitnick Security Consulting, LLC. He is also the chief hacking officer and part owner of the security awareness training company KnowBe4, as well as an active advisory board member at Imperium, a firm that develops a mobile intrusion prevention system. Mitnick was born in Van Nuys, California, on August 6, 1963. He grew up in Los Angeles and attended James Monroe High School in Los Angeles, California, during which time he became an amateur radio operator. He was later enrolled at Los Angeles Pierce College and USC. For a time, he worked as a receptionist for Stephen S. Wise Temple. At age 12, Mitnick used social engineering and dumpster diving to bypass the punch card system used in the Los Angeles bus system. After he convinced a bus driver to tell him where he could buy his own ticket punch for a school project, he was able to ride any bus in the greater LA area using unused transfer slips he found in a dumpster next to the bus company garage. Social engineering later became his primary method of obtaining information, including usernames and passwords and modem phone numbers. Mitnick first gained unauthorized access to a computer network in 1979, at 16, when a friend gave him the phone number for the ARC, the computer system that Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC, used for developing its RSTS/E operating system software. He broke into DEC's computer network and copied the company's software, a crime for which he was charged and convicted in 1988. He was sentenced to 12 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Near the end of his supervised release, Mitnick hacked into Pacific Bell voicemail computers. After a warrant was issued for his arrest, Mitnick fled, becoming a fugitive for 2.5 years. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, Mitnick gained unauthorized access to dozens of computer networks while he was a fugitive. He used cloned cellular phones to hide his location and, among other things, copied valuable proprietary software from some of the country's largest cellular telephone and computer companies. Mitnick also intercepted and stole computer passwords, altered computer networks, and broke into and read private emails. After a well-publicized pursuit, the FBI arrested Mitnick on February 15, 1995, at his apartment in Raleigh, North Carolina, on federal offenses related to a 2.5-year period of computer hacking which included computer and wire fraud. He was found with cloned cellular phones, more than 100 cloned cellular phone codes, and multiple pieces of false identification. In December 1997, the Yahoo website was hacked, displaying a message calling for Mitnick's release. According to the message, all recent visitors of Yahoo's website had been infected with a computer worm that would wreak havoc on Christmas Day unless Mitnick were released. Yahoo dismissed the claims as a hoax and said that the worm was non-existent. Mitnick was charged with wire fraud 14 times, possession of unauthorized access devices 8 times, interception of wire or electronic communications, unauthorized access to a federal computer, and causing damage to a computer. In 1999, Mitnick pleaded guilty to 4 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of computer fraud and 1 count of illegally intercepting a wire communication, as part of a plea agreement before the United States District Court for the Central District of California in Los Angeles. He was sentenced to 46 months in prison plus 22 months for violating the terms of his 1989 supervised release sentence for computer fraud. He admitted to violating the terms of supervised release by hacking into Pacific Bell voicemail and other systems and to associating with known computer hackers, in this case co-defendant Louis DePayne. Mitnick served 5 years in prison, 4.5 years pretrial and 8 months in solitary confinement, because, according to Mitnick, law enforcement officials convinced a judge that he had the ability to start a nuclear war by whistling into a payphone, implying that law enforcement told the judge that he could somehow dial into the NORAD modem via a payphone from prison and communicate with the modem by whistling to launch nuclear missiles. In addition, a number of media outlets reported on the unavailability of kosher meals at the prison where he was incarcerated. He was released on January 21, 2000. During his supervised release, which ended on January 21, 2003, he was initially forbidden to use any communications technology other than a landline telephone. Mitnick fought this decision in court, eventually winning a ruling in his favor, allowing him to access the internet. Under the plea deal, Mitnick was also prohibited from profiting from films or books based on his criminal activity for 7 years, under a special judicial Son of Sam law variation. In December 2001, an FCC judge ruled that Mitnick was sufficiently rehabilitated to possess a federally issued amateur radio license. Mitnick now runs Mitnick Security Consulting LLC, a computer security consultancy, and is part owner of KnowB4, provider of an integrated platform for security awareness training and simulated phishing testing. Mitnick's criminal activities, arrest and trial, along with the associated journalism, were all controversial. Though Mitnick has been convicted of copying software unlawfully, his supporters argue that his punishment was excessive and that many of the charges against him were fraudulent and not based on actual losses. In his 2002 book, The Art of Deception, Mitnick states that he compromised computers solely by using passwords and codes that he gained by social engineering. He claims he did not use software programs or hacking tools for cracking passwords or otherwise exploiting computer or phone security. John Markoff and Tsutomu Shimomura, who had both been part of the pursuit of Mitnick, wrote the book Takedown about Mitnick's capture. The case against Mitnick tested the new laws that had been enacted for dealing with computer crime, and it raised public awareness of security involving networked computers. The controversy remains, however, and the Mitnick story is often cited today as an example of the influence that newspapers and other media outlets can have on law enforcement personnel. Since 2000, Mitnick has been a paid security consultant, public speaker and author. He does security consulting for Fortune 500 companies and the FBI, performs penetration testing services for the world's largest companies, and teaches social engineering classes to dozens of companies and government agencies. His company Mitnick Security Consulting is based in Las Vegas, Nevada, where he currently resides. His custom metal business cards also serve as lockpicking kits. So that is about Kevin Mitnick. And if you found this video useful, please give it a like. It's completely free to do and really helps out me on my channel. If you're interested in getting involved with what videos I make next, click that subscribe button and get voting in the polls in the meantime. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.